It's time to play Dig Dug by Bandai Namco. We've been playing a lot of arcade games lately, but that's because they're short and easy, and I play these games while I go on long endeavors. You know, like playing through Ocarina of Time. I was playing some other smaller games on the side. And I was also, and this time around, because it's summer, I thought I'd play through Psychonauts, where we're not going to be playing Psychonauts today. Today we're going to be playing Dig Dug by Namco. So, in this game, you play as a Smurf. And for some reason, the theme only goes when you, move, which is weird. So your goal is to kill everything on the screen and be the only one alive, and you do it by digging around. And sometimes you get screwed. The green dragons, yeah, you kill them by basically taking an air pump and blowing them up. The green ones can blow fire, and the red ones can go through walls. Now, this round is obviously a warm-up round. I'm not this bad at Dig Dug. I thought the flower would give me some extra points, but nope. And when there's one left, it'll try and run away. I think you get a bonus for getting rid of it. So, let's start getting these guys. Now, you can briefly hit through walls. And it's something I would recommend doing. Alright, okay. It's time to be serious. Now, if I remember correctly, going underneath a rock makes it fall, or maybe I'm thinking of a different game. Nope, it falls. Okay. And you can also use that to kill your opponents. If you want the bonus for killing everything, start with the guys high up. Doop-de-doop. Oh no, the dragon's running away. Okay. Alright, so immediately, I will say this is fun. It's probably not one of Namco Bandai's best works. I think it was originally made by Namco. Wasn't Bandai a toy company before they merged? Bonus! This game can be quite graphic. You just inflate them until they explode violently. And I guess I'm not playing as a Smurf, but like a garden gnome. I guess the backstory is that these monsters are underneath his garden and ruining it. Jeez, the high score is 10,000. Okay, I could do that. Oh, I'm getting surrounded. Alright, one life lost. Time limit. I guess there might be a bit of a time limit here. That's what happens when the music goes faster, right? Come back here! Come back here! Come... But as you can see, like with Galaga, this is another one that I bought on Steam. And of the arcade games that I bought on Steam, I probably like this one the most. I don't know, Miss Pac-Man might be better, or I might like it more. But it's definitely a minor, or a stiff competition. I am not good at dealing with being chased. When two or more are after you, it makes things a little bit tricky. So here's what we do. Oh yeah, they can. Hey! I beat the high score. Go for the world record now. Just out of curiosity's sake, let's find out what that is. Dig Dug world record. 5,225,260 points. I have, 10,000. I got a bit of a way to go. So, what are my feelings on Dig Dug? If I had a complaint, it is a little bit too easy. I mean, it takes a while for the game to even start trying to overwhelm me. But I will give it credit. It's not another stupid Galaga clone. It's not even a space shooter, which is always nice. I ran into that. I like to give extra credence to games that aren't just generic space shooters, or arcade games that aren't just generic space shooters. Oh yeah, and in open fields you can hit farther away. Now, I don't know if there's a point where you have to... If there's a certain amount of points where you earn an extra life in this game. I don't know if it has that. If I get a game over, I will check. I'm not going to pause in the middle of the game. Yes, run away from me, dragon. I'd also like to notice on the box art, it looks like there's like some sort of speed racer dude. I don't think he ever appears in the game. He looks absolutely... You could see him there on the left. He looks absolutely nothing like the guy that I'm playing as, who once again looks like Papa Smurf. Yay! Ah, no. Up. When they're that close to you, there's really not much you can do. Now, I think when you're moving, that's how the enemies detect where you are. Because there's got to be a reason that not moving stops the music altogether. If it's just stylistic, that would be another complaint of mine. Ah, two. Also, you might recognize the round things in Pac-Man World. Okay, so yeah, apparently I am playing the Speed Racer dude. He's the guy with the pump. Why is his face blue? Dig Dug Extra Lives. Oh, good. There's a strategy wiki, or there's a page on the strategy wiki. Using rocks, be greedy near the end. Flowers. Okay, the flowers indicate the level, apparently. I don't see how many lives. How many points to get a life in Dig Dug? Oh, while that's loading up. Control F. Extra. Okay, so digging dirt also seems to be racking up some points. Okay, the first one's... There. So at the very least, this tells me that there is a score that will allow you to get an extra life. It's usually 20,000 points, I think. I don't know. Come on. And you go, boom. These dragons, they just gotta stop to breathe fire. Yeah, it doesn't tell me how many points I need to get an extra life. Come on, come on. That was close. So I guess the idea is to just keep going until I do. Come on. They are in pursuit of me. Alright. The round things are especially a pain in the ass because they seem to chase after you very quickly. At least I got one of them. Leaving only the dragons. So I guess the best thing to do is just get as much dirt as you can. Oh, this is bad, this is bad. Up, go. Alright, let's see if I can pull off any advanced strategies. Like, level 1 is pretty simple, just fucking go at him and get him. No! Why did you escape? One. Phew. That was bad, that was bad, that was stupid, that was stupid, that was stupid. Ah ha ha! Ooh, vegetable. And he blew fire at me. Yeah, so obviously, I guess crushing them gets you a better reward. Phew. Ah! Okay, so apparently they can detect you even if you're not moving. Ha! I will get one of these vegetables sooner or later. Wait. Are mushrooms vegetables? Like, the tomato debate is, like, tired and stale at this point. Here's a new one for you. Are mushrooms vegetables? I mean, they're not a plant, which you would assume is required for being a vegetable. But if they're not vegetables, what are they? Move, move, move. Come on, come on. He 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 he. Oh no. Two of them are chasing me. Oh, only one. Come on. God damn it. New high score, though. I do like how the game challenges you to go for the world record. Yeah, that's a sadistic sense of humor there. Alright. And... Gotcha. Man, that's what you get for cheating the maze. I think after this game, I think we've gotten the point. But because the book is loaded with filler, that means this time around we're gonna have a bonus game. Yeah, I'm just knocking them out left and right. Huh. It's not really out of intention, it's just so many games in the early 80s are just fucking duplicates. I beat the in-game high score, and that's what matters to me today. Looks like the dragon doesn't want to go anywhere. Okay, now it's going somewhere. Since it's not going after me, I'm just gonna grind up some points. And he poofs. Let's start grinding up some more points. See if I can get that 20,000. Round 5. I'm going downward. Got one. I think Dig Dug is a yes. Maybe not the most greatest yes ever, but it's interesting at the very least, and I have been having a good time playing it. I will say yes. There's a little bit of a nuance to it. And I can imagine that the skill ceiling for this one is particularly high, as there may be some techniques that I haven't learned or mastered quite yet. Oh. Okay, time to play the other game. Are you ready to play Mr. Do? I don't see why you would, because we just played Mr. Do. So, this is another game, which you go around digging. This time there are cherries. You also throw a ball to keep your enemies away, but it's the same basic idea. But this time you play as a clown. Nice, huh? This is a totally unique game. It's not a clone at all. I mean, like, I get that we didn't have a lot of technology back in the day, but... Ah! Cookie Monsters! Oh yeah, I got squished. But, like, even ignoring the book, how the fuck were there so many blatant copies of games? I mean, this is definitely not as blatant as fucking Gorf, but it's another Dig Dug, really. And honestly, it's not as fun as Dig Dug. So you get the cake, and everything fucking turns demented. And I guess when you kill something, they turn into fucking apples? Describing most early 80s games make you sound like a mental patient. Buzz, Mr. Do! Yay, Mr. Do! Once again, this was a clone that I didn't know. Like, I was pretty familiar. Well, I at least knew what Dig Dug was a game. I didn't know how it was played before the book. But I had no idea that Mr. Do was, Mr. Doo-Doo. Player 1. No, this one's totally different. It starts you on the bottom. And you can only throw so many things at once. Okay. Like, what is there even to say? Honestly, I'm getting a little discouraged from this whole goddamn book thing. Like, I'm really feeling like I'm wasting my time. Like, I could pick a selection of 1,000 games at absolute random. Like, if you give me a list of every video game ever made, and you picked it at absolute random, it would probably make a more interesting list than the one that they came up with. Like, fuck, I'd rather be playing bad games, or boring games, than games that are just clones. Like, I know that there weren't too many hard hitters in the early 80s. It took up to about the mid-80s for the game industry to really get going. But still, that's no excuse to just include every fucking game that existed. Okay, so the Cookie Monster ghosts eat the apples. And I believe you beat the level once you get all of the cherries. Or, you know, you run into the enemies. Yay, I beat a level. Level 2 has got this weird fucking ice palette. Yeah, so the goal of Mr. Do is to get all the cherries on every level. I mean, I guess it's a little bit different than Dig Dug, but come on. I don't care about high scores. This isn't a literal arcade machine, and it's... Well, let's really go strategic. Like, now that I actually care what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm really starting to feel this way. Like, why am I still doing this? To play every game in the book? Why? The book is miserable. It's absolutely miserable. Oh yes, it has some obvious choices like Ocarina of Time and Tetris. Oh yes, it has some underrated cult classics like Psychonauts or Earthbound or Mother 3. But that's what, like 1/10 of the book? The rest of it's shit like this. Not that Mr. Do is a bad game, except when it glitches like this and you don't get your last cherry. But like, I think I've demonstrated what I wanted to demonstrate. I mean, already we played Uno, we played 5 versions of the same game, we played through Facade. Like, and I've already ranted about the games that aren't in it. Like, what I truly want to do is make a 1001 video games you must play, like, that's actually, you know, worth a damn. Because I truly do believe that there are that many video games worth playing. especially a decade later. The gaming industry is almost 50 years old, and I keep forgetting that I have something that I can actually hit the enemies with. There's really almost no point to hitting them in this one. There are just too many to really be effective against them. Oh yeah, your enemies can dig too in this game. But yeah. Like, why even continue this? It's just... I mean, it's not very interesting. The only reason to continue this, I guess, is to learn about the franchises that I'm not familiar with, and to see if there are any diamonds in the rough. So far, there's been, like, one. This is just, I don't give a shit anymore. I mean, a lot of their entries are the first game that to do X, Y, or Z. And usually the first game to do X, Y, or Z is shit. Like, Pong, for instance, was not the first tennis video game. I don't know why so many of the very first video games ever were about some kind of tennis. But, like, Tennis for Two was a game that came out, like, a decade before Pong. Oh. Is a bit... Xevious is in the book. It was one of the first vertical scrolling shooters. It's not very good. There's no reason to play it today. Dragon Warrior, the first one, is in the book. There's no reason to play it because the entire genre of RPGs has gone miles and miles. Dragon Warrior 2 is almost a remake of Dragon Warrior 1. Let's see, last time we played Yi-Ar Kung Fu. Which was apparently one of the very first tournament fighters ever. And that game sucked. They put mud in the book. The very first MMO, or multi-user dungeon, as they were called back in the 1980s. And there's no reason to play that anymore. Galaxian was one of the first games to use RGB graphics. There's no reason to play that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the goal here is to make a 1001 video games that's worth making. Like, a true 1001. But I can't get over the fact that, you know, maybe I'm going to miss something if I just throw the fucking book out. And of course, there are so many franchises and so many genres that I'm not up and up on. That was my last quarter. We're done for today. Sorry this has been depressing, but we are done today.